What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the first Descendant, going over Hailey, the newest Descendant introduced in the Season 1 of the first Descendant. We're going to go over who she is, what her role is, how to build her, and some of the things you should pay attention to when out in the field farming for stuff that she needs and everything else that you might want to know. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So, who is Hailey? What is her role? Well, Hailey is the newest Descendant in the first Descendant, introduced with the launch of Season 1, which, along with the introduction of Hailey, brought a lot of great quality of life choices. If we go over here, let's go over some of her stuff. So her 1 is kind of a partial mobbing. It can mob if it really wants to. It's a cryo round. If you hit targets, it kind of debuffs them. Targets hit with cryo receive additional damage and lose 1 stack when hit by Hailey's firearm attack. Her 2 is the Storm Snare. It's basically a big giant like cannon round. Deals a lot of damage. It has a lot of overpenetration. It can get through some walls and things like that. I've seen it done before. I've even done it myself a few times. There is a small AoE effect, but the main thing is it's a hard hitting 2. It's a very, very hard hitting. It can hit for millions of damage. Her 3 is kind of like it slows you down as you're running, but it also grants you a increase to skill, critical hit damage, and firearm critical hit damage, a flat stack of, I think it's 16 stacks you can get up to, and you get a 20% flat stack bonus to both your skill critical hit and firearm critical hit damage. And her 4, which is her big ability, basically turns you into a sniper. It hits for insane damage. This goes off of your equipped weapon, and you also get some extra damage with the skill power and the multiplier provided with it. You also get 50% firearm attack increase when using this. Basically, think of it as a juiced up weapon, a juiced up version of the weapon you are currently using. So, let's go over the skills, the mods you might need. So my Hailey is not optimized. It's almost there. We're getting there. So the main thing you want to really look into is skill critical hit damage. So I'm running emergency measures for the crit rate and crit damage. Front lines, again, for the crit rate and crit damage. We got skill concentration for the crit damage. We also have MP conversion for skill cooldown. The skill cooldown is very nice because you can get these abilities back really, really fast. Within, I'd say, 30 seconds or so, maybe even less on her 4. I think her 2 actually has a longer cooldown than her 4 in my setup. We got increased health. Nice to have that survivability. Chill Specialist. She is the second Descendant to have the chill ability on her. So we have Chill Specialist to bring that power up. Dangerous Ambush. It's nice to have. Dangerous Ambush says that when using a skill attack and the enemies that targeting you, the skill power is increased. After various testing, it turns out that skill power is always up. So when you have Dangerous Ambush, you're getting that 24.9% increase to your skill power no matter what, even if they are targeting you, which is pretty nice. And the other bonus is if you knock down an enemy, like when you're fighting Colossus, you knock them down, that's an extra almost 50%. Got some more chill skill power. I would like to run shot focus. I do not have shot focus, so in its place I'm running focus on singular, just so we can have a little extra skill cooldown. And I'm going to, when I do catalyzer again, I'm going to be putting a fully maxed out focus on singular to get that singular skill power modifier up even higher. Then we got spear and shield just for that extra defense and skill power. For the reactor, you want to have the Frozen Singularity reactor. It's preferred to have a piercing light as your main quote-unquote boss weapon because it has such high firearm attack from base that it deals a lot of damage. Even though I don't have an optimized reactor, I still happen to have one with skill critical hit damage. Ideally, you'd want a piercing light mounting with additional Colossus damage. I do happen to have that. I have like the perfect one, but the problem is it's not a piercing light mounting. You can get away with a blue, or I'm sorry, a purple reactor. I do happen to have one right here, right there. It does hit pretty hard, but it's not as good as you would see with your ultimate reactor with just this, just the piercing light mounting. If I did get a perfect one, I'd be hitting for a heck of a lot higher. So obviously you want Frozen Singularity for Chill Singular. Singular ties into the 2 and the 4, which is what this build revolves around. For bossing, the Slayer set is always a nice thing to have. Get that extra skill power. Yeah, the skill cost is a little higher, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter too much. I have my stuff with some MP recovery, extra MP, and just some extra like defense and health and shield. If you happen to have another one with extra health, go ahead and run it. You know, it's not the end of the world if you don't have gold or MP recovery. You know, it's not really that needed because you are killing bosses really, really, really fast. Now on the piercing light, now this is very important. You have to build your piercing light up because, as I said earlier, the 4's base damage is based on what weapon you're using. So my piercing light isn't fully maxed out yet. I'm still working on that. It's still a hard grind to get that done. But the main things you want to have are listed here on the screen. You obviously want to get that firearm attack up as high as possible. So rifling reinforcement, got action and reaction. Get that crit damage up. Now the other thing that you want to pay attention to is also weak point damage. So I have maximized weight balance for the extra weak point damage of 2%. I will have that maxed out here soon. We got the crit rate and also weak point expansion, because on weak point hit, the damage is increased by 140%, which really helps. And then concentration priority for the 33% crit damage. Yeah, the reload modifier, you don't really need that because you aren't necessarily firing the piercing light. But ideally, I do have expand weapon charge in here just in case I do have to use the gun. And I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe that the Hailey's 4 does stack with expand weapon charge and this. So overall, that's pretty much the things that you would want to have when building her out. Now, her role mainly is a bossing. She does a lot of damage to bossing. For mobbing, she's not really the best in my opinion. She's mainly here for crazy damage. She can kind of mob a little bit, but the problem with her is when you're in her 2 or her 4, you are stationary. You can't strafe back and forth. You can't go forward, backwards. You are stuck. So, let's go see what she can do. Go to Pyromaniac. I'll load this up. Now the way you would want to run her, the way you want to use her in this is you want to pop your 3, which allows you to get that flat stack bonus of 20% on the firearm damage. Then you would want to pop your 2, hit for big damage, and then your 4. And it's also important to note on her passive, the farther away you are from the enemy, the more damage you're going to do for weak point. So pop your 3. Let's pop that 2. Pop the 4. Just like that. And she does have the ability to 2-shot. I just couldn't get it to do it there. But yeah, that is mainly what she's capable of doing. She is a bosser. Perhaps one of the best bossers in the game. See, that's a 7-second takedown for almost 23 million damage. I only showcase Pyro just because that's like the one I go to. I like to get the Slayer set stuff. But she is capable of handling all the other bosses, no problem. So I hope you found this video very informational. I will be posting more First Descendant as time goes on. I've been really enjoying the game. I will eventually have a video out comparing it to the other game that I played a lot, which is Destiny 2. I know there's a lot of back and forth on First Descendant versus Destiny versus other games. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this game compared to Destiny 2. Look forward to that in the future. Leave a comment down below of things that you might want to see on the First Descendant here soon. Also, make sure you leave a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you next time.